The game news continues to roll on as there's a new trailer suggesting that a new Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer will be dropping tonight ahead of Square Enix's E3 showcase. It's coming from a very reputable source, and I'm led to believe it, so I'll be talking all about that. Also, speaking of Square Enix, Marvel's The Avengers is one of their major projects that they'll be showing off as a part of their E3 showcase, and it looks like the game will be coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Stadia. Now, why I find that to be so relevant is because a lot of people were speculating on the fact that Marvel's The Avengers might turn out to be a PlayStation 5 and next Xbox title, and that might still very well be the case, but it does look like it'll be arriving to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Stadia as well. Borderlands 3 is one of the hotly anticipated games of this year, and Borderlands 2 is reportedly getting new DLC at E3 that ties into Borderlands 3, and best of all, this DLC will be free. And given that Borderlands 2 itself is a freebie as a PlayStation Plus subscriber, now makes a lot of sense to put out that Borderlands 2 DLC as well. So all of that is coming together, and EA Access is coming to PlayStation 4 in July, and it is going to be dropping on PS4 in a big way, as Battlefield 5 has actually been added to EA Access and Origin Vault today. So when it comes to PlayStation 4, Battlefield 5 is going to be more accessible than ever. I'll talk about that at the end of this video. First up, the majority of the news that we're going to be talking is all about E3, and while Square Enix's E3 showcase is coming up, and I've often said leading up to this E3, Square Enix is prepping up a major show. Not only do we have the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Marvel's Avengers, we're going to talk about both of those, but if you actually look at their lineup, Babylon's Fall from Platinum Games and any other announcements they could be prepping up. I know People Can Fly is working on a brand new first-person shooter, and that's going to be announced as well. They've got a lot of compelling projects. However, the one game that takes the cake ahead of everything else, I think I speak for the majority of people, is the Final Fantasy VII Remake. However, a new report from Daniel Ahmad over on Twitter, and he is very reputable, he tweeted out full trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake will be at the concert prior to the E3 reveal. And if you're wondering about what's going on with this concert, there's actually a Final Fantasy concert taking place at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles tonight at 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9 p.m. Eastern, and I believe that does correlate with a couple of press conferences happening right now. So as far as tonight goes, expect a major bombardment of new game announcements from Microsoft with their press conference. Even if you don't have an Xbox or you have no interest in Microsoft products, usually they show off a lot of third-party content as well. Last year we saw the announcement of games like Devil May Cry 5 as well as Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and I imagine that Bandai Namco is going to come in full force with that as well. So again, just expect a gigantic bombardment of content. If you're subscribed to a bunch of YouTube channels, especially the publishers, just expect a lot of trailers and a lot of gameplay footage to be uploaded tonight. I would recommend you to watch the conferences yourself, but obviously if your schedule doesn't line up, then it is what it is. A lot of content's going to be uploaded, and that would also include this Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer that is hopefully dropping tonight. Now, that would just be a remake trailer, and it would be a full trailer, but I imagine that the majority of the information as far as release window, release plans in terms of their episodic release, and whatever the case may be, and exact specific details, all of that will be dropping at E3. I am still very skeptical that this game will be released in 2019. I know some people are crossing their fingers. I really don't think there's any chance of that. I do believe it'll be an early 2020 game for the first part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and then subsequent parts will be released later in 2020. And then, you know, Square Enix has to be a little suave with their business tactics, and I imagine that they're gonna release some super duper complete edition Final Fantasy VII game on the PlayStation 5 as well, so they can get some people to triple dip Final Fantasy VII Part 1, then Final Fantasy VII Part 2, and then the super version on PlayStation 5. That's just my speculation, but I honestly think from a business standpoint that's the best route to take it. Just do note, brand new FF7 trailer tonight. Okay, moving on from that, the other game that many are looking forward to as a part of Square Enix's showcase is coming from Crystal Dynamics, and that is Marvel's The Avengers. Now, I was very skeptical on the fact of this being a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One title, but an image has been posted with The Avengers promotional material, and it was noted that the logos for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC are all there, so I imagine that yes, this will be a current-gen title. Now, that doesn't rule out the fact that it could see some sort of next-generation release. That is always on the table for all of these games that are releasing in 2020. Even if they have the PS4, Xbox One, and PC logo, you would have to imagine that, yes, with a lot of these publishers, they are thinking, hey, maybe we can put this game on the PlayStation 5 and next Xbox as well. I mean, you look at the games from last generation, many of those games saw ports to next generation as well. The difference is with next generation, it should have full backwards compatibility, so maybe we won't be as incentivized into picking up the games again, but I still imagine if they are going to see visual upgrades, some people are going gonna double, or in the case of Final Fantasy VII Remake, maybe even triple dip. Marvel's Avengers is a game that I'm incredibly compelled by. I'm interested in seeing where this game goes, because could this develop to be a major IP for Square Enix that does incredibly well from a commercial standpoint? I have to be a little bit skeptical based on their recent outings. I mean, I point to you guys games like Left Alive, The Quiet Man, even bigger titles like Just Cause 4 and Shadow of the Tomb Raider. They just have a very shoddy track record, and that shoddiness really comes into play when you talk about their Western releases. Marvel's The Avengers, of course, a Western release. We'll see how it turns out. I'm crossing my fingers, hoping for the best, but at the very least, you can expect to play it on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Okay, one game that I think is going to turn out to be absolutely excellent is Borderlands 3, but if you want a little bit more Borderlands ahead of Borderlands 3, it looks like Borderlands 2, all these years later, is reportedly getting new DLC at E3 that ties into Borderlands 3. Steam data has appeared via a Restera user for a new piece of DLC for Borderlands 2 called Commander Lilith and the Fight for the Sanctuary, which according to the reported description will act as a bridge to the story of Borderlands 3. The description reads this: return to the award-winning shooter-looter for a new adventure that sets the stage for the upcoming Borderlands 3. Sanctuary is under siege, the vault map has been stolen, and a toxic gas is poisoning Pandora. Fight new bosses, explore new zones, get new loot, including an entirely new tier beyond Legendary, and join up with Lilith and the Crimson Raiders to take on a deranged villain hell-bent on ruling the planet. I would really love to see more publishers and developers use this as a tool to promote sequels. You don't really see this done often, where if there's a sequel being released for a game, you release some sort of little free content for a game, and that gets people invested into the franchise once again right before a new game releases. I just think this is incredibly intelligent to do, and in the case of this, they do know that you're going to be able to fight new bosses, explore new zones, and get new loot, and they're introducing an entirely new tier beyond Legendary. It actually seems like this is a sizable piece of DLC, but it will be released for free based on the report, so that sounds incredible to me, and I would love to see more games do this, whether it be, you know, if Evil Within 3, let's say, gets announced at E3 ahead of that game's release, maybe release something for the Evil Within 2. I just offer you guys that as an idea because I think that's a really good strategy and getting people more invested into a franchise and just using something as a little bit of a promotional tool. I'm not saying you have to give us, you know, hours upon hours of content, but even 15, 20, 30 minutes of content that could take us into the experience and get us invested into the next entry of the franchise, just kind of setting the table. I think that would be really cool, and I think that's something that a lot of publishers could take advantage of. I don't know, is there a lot of profit to be had in creating free content and releasing it for free and not getting anything in return outside of just inherent promotion for the next game? Probably not. But I think in this case, it could get a lot of people reinvested into Borderlands because, do know, Borderlands 2 came out all the way back in 2012. Borderlands 3 coming 7 years later in 2019. Some people aren't as invested into Borderlands as they were back in the day, but with something like this, that could get them re-enamored in the franchise, and best of all, right now, it's a freebie as a PlayStation Plus subscriber, so I think timing-wise, this was all a calculated decision. Whatever the case may be, Borderlands 3 will be headed to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC through the Epic Store on September 13th, and a Stadia version is going to arrive sometime down the line. Okay, and lastly, EA Access is headed to PlayStation 4 in July, which is very exciting. I know EA, definitely not everyone's favorite publisher. However, EA Access itself, I think, is a great value service, especially because it's $5 a month or $30 a year, and you get access to EA's vast vault lineup of games, and that vault lineup is getting even more expansive with Battlefield 5 coming to EA Access and Origin Vault today. So if you have an Xbox One and you're subscribed to EA Access, or if you're over on PC and you have Origin Access, Battlefield 5 is now coming to the base version of the subscription. On PC, it was always a part of Origin Access Premier, but that's $15 opposed to $5 a month. Now it'll be in the basic tier, and that's pretty amazing, given that Battlefield 5 is a game that still goes for, you know, $25, $30. They just added Firestorm to it. I do understand the notion of them needing to jolt up the player base and keeping people enamored into Battlefield 5, and maybe even getting more people into BF5. It was a little bit of a commercial disaster back when it came out in November of last year. I thought the game itself fundamentally was a great Battlefield game, and it offers a lot of quality content, a quality single-player component. Multiplayer has a ton of depth, and you have Firestorm in there as well, and now you can play the game for $5 a month. Not available on PlayStation 4 as of the moment, but EA Access is headed to PS4 in July, and along with Battlefield 5, you've got a lot of other great games on there. Dragon Age Inquisition, Burnout Paradise Remastered. A lot of the sports titles are in there as well. From a value standpoint, I think EA Access is a tremendous deal. and I'm excited to see it come to the PlayStation 4 now with Battlefield 5 in tow. And that's gonna conclude this video. Again, it looks like a brand new Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer is gonna be dropping tonight. Be on the lookout for that. That concert will be held 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, so very much looking forward to that. It looks like Marvel's The Avengers will be on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC. Borderlands 2 is getting some free DLC, and Battlefield 5 is coming to EA Access ahead of EA Access coming to PlayStation 4 sometime in July. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.